On July 28th, 2021, at around 1 o'clock in the morning, the Atlanta Police Department responded to a distressed 911 call that had recently come over the radio. As the officers arrived at the entrance to Piedmont Park in downtown Atlanta, they would be unprepared for the gruesome scene that awaited them that warm summer night. Met by Emma Clark, the distraught woman who had placed the 911 call, the police would be led over to a particularly secluded area of the park, where they would then be shown the brutalized and deceased body of Katie Janness, as well as that of her beloved dog, Bowie. Katie had been mercilessly stabbed over 50 times that night, and the letters F.A.T. had been crudely carved into her already mutilated torso. Alongside her corpse lay the body of her 3-year-old dog, whom she'd been out taking a walk with that evening, with multiple stab wounds as well. What was already a devastating and horrific event quickly turned into a frenzy of speculation before unfortunately going cold. So join me today while we take a look at one of the most brutal and still unsolved murders of the past 5 years, the killing of Katie Janness. I'm your host, Andy, and this is Strange and Unexplained. Janness and Bowie were discovered near the 10th Street Park entrance by her longtime partner, Emma Clark, in the early hours of July 28th. Emma hadn't been worried when Janness left for a walk with their dog the evening of July 27th, as this was something Katie did frequently and something she was comfortable doing alone. However, Clark started to grow concerned about Katie when she didn't return home by her normal time and failed to respond to any phone calls or texts. After hours of waiting around, Clark eventually was able to track the location of Katie's cell phone using an app, which would ultimately lead Clark to go out and search for her partner on her own. This sadly would be when she found both bodies just inside the entrance to Piedmont Park. A discovery that detectives still consider to be one of the more gruesome crime scenes they've seen, and one that has still haunted Emma since that horrific night. She goes on to say, "At first, I saw Bowie, but I didn't know it was Bowie. I thought it was like a trash bag from far away. I don't have great vision. As soon as I realized he wasn't alive anymore, I immediately shot up and started yelling her name and looking around screaming. I ran over to her and I put my hands on her face and I checked for a pulse, but you could tell she was not alive. There was a lot of blood and she had her neck slashed, so it was very clear." According to the autopsy report, Katie Janness passed away as the result of sharp force injuries to her face, neck, and torso that resulted in damage to significant blood vessels and internal organs. She sustained over 50 stab wounds to the face, neck, and torso on the evening of her murder in Piedmont Park, with a minimum of 15 of those being to her head. And as previously mentioned at the start of the episode, the autopsy report also revealed that although the torso suffered significant mutilation, the investigators were still able to make out the letters F.A.T. that had been carved into the victim's stomach. Following the announcement of finding Katie's body, a gathering of about 100 individuals took place at Piedmont Park 2 days following her passing to mourn her loss and honor her memory. Floral arrangements, candles, and heartfelt cards were placed at the entrance of the park as tribute. Reflecting on Janness's life, Paige Crawford, a close friend, spoke fondly of her, stating, "She just really appreciated the small things in life. She had her music, she had Emma, the dogs, and that's all she really needed." And even though this murder was exceptionally brutal and heavily in the public eye, the police, however, had very little to go on in terms of who would do such a horrific thing or why. City officials indicated on the night in question, cameras were present in Piedmont Park. However, they were not operational due to outdated technology. Despite this fault, however, the cameras were left in place as they were deemed to have some sense of value as an apparent deterrent. Efforts were made by investigators to extract any potential information from those cameras, yet no images or video footage has ever been released to the public at this time. During a press conference held on August 5th of 2021, it was revealed that multiple agencies, such as the Fulton County DA's office, the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, and the FBI, were all collaborating to investigate and resolve the Janness case. 4 months following Janness's murder, no suspect had been identified by the police, with some people in the community going as far to try and claim that there was a serial killer on the loose. Others started to point the finger at Clark. As a result, she revealed to news organizations that she had received multiple death threats and subsequently purchased a firearm for her own protection. With the case continuing to go cold as the months went on, both the general public and the city took steps to honor Katie's memory, as well as trying to prevent things like this from happening again. With a memorial bench erected in the park to show the love and support the community had for Katie, the city itself finally installed new security cameras in the park in April of 2022. The 1-year anniversary of Katie's murder was observed on July 28, 2022. And during this press conference, Atlanta police stated that they were still analyzing cell phone and biological data in regards to the investigation, with hopes of uncovering any sort of new leads. Deputy Chief Hampton Jr. expressed confidence in the progress made, stating, "We believe we're on the right track, and we have promising leads." In a statement the Clark family shared, however, they stated they were still grappling with the ongoing impact of the tragic loss of Katie. But even after 2 years had passed, and we were approaching the 3rd anniversary of the murder of Katie, the Atlanta police are still no closer to bringing any sort of suspect to justice. "We're working on it," Atlanta Police Homicide Detective Jeffrey Churchill said. "It is frustrating, but we're working on it. We want to get it right." And to close out this video, I'd like to leave you all with a quote from Emma Clark about Katie Janness and the loss that she still feels for her today. "Katie was a beautiful, talented soul that had so much to give the world and always was a champion for those less fortunate. We are still in hope of justice being served to the person or persons responsible, and we pray that the Atlanta Police Department and the FBI find this monster before they ever repeat the heinous acts done to our sweet Katie and our precious dog Bowie." But there you have it, folks. The brutal and unsolved murder of Katie Janness, an Atlanta musician and advocate for social justice who was horrifically stabbed to death alongside her beloved dog Bowie in Piedmont Park. And even though there hasn't been many updates in the case since it occurred back in 2021, the family and the community are still hopeful that soon they will finally have the break they've so desperately been waiting for. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. And if you have, please check out all our other shows here on the TCG Network. And also, check out our YouTube channel, where you can see videos just like this one and many more. And of course, please like, subscribe for more content just like this almost daily. If you'd like to show your support, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/truecrimeguys. But until then, be strange, just don't be strangers. Bye.